Hey, Bigger Pockets, it's Matt Faircloth. Today I want to talk to you guys about no money down deals. We've done a bunch of them. In the last 5 years, we've flipped a bunch of houses, probably somewhere around a dozen to 15 or 16 fix and flips. We've also purchased about 80 units of rental in the last 5 years, all using no money out of our own pocket. So before I get into how we did it, certain things I need to underscore. Before you do no money down deals, you need to do a bunch of homework. You need to get educated. It should not be something you just jump in and do a no money down deal. With a month or so after you started researching and decided you wanted to get into real estate investing. They can be very tricky deals. It's something that you really need to have your act together for. And because they're deals that really don't have very much margin for error, because there's just no equity in there that gives you a lot of room. So I strongly suggest you get educated, perhaps do deals with some of your own money if you have it before you go and try and do a no money down deal, or get yourself a mentor or someone to coach you through your first couple of no money down deals just to make sure you do it right and don't get yourself upside down, because it's the last thing I want to see happen to you, right out of the gate. So here are the 3 different strategies we use for no money down. Okay, number 1, this is the way that we do fix and flips. I enroll private investors, and a private investor is someone typically with a self-directed IRA, with a large amount of cash, or with a large amount of cash sitting in the bank. And what I enroll them to do is to come in and fund the purchase of the fix and flip, and I get them to fund all of the construction as well. The way that works is it's got to be the right deal with a reasonable amount of construction that puts the loan that they're giving you well underneath the value, the ARV, after repair value of the property when you're complete, right? So you got to make sure your investor's protected. A lot of times the way the deal works is 60 to 65% of the ARV is as high as you want to get that investor into their deals. Maybe you can creep up to 70 if it's in a really good neighborhood and you know it's going to sell really quickly at that ARV number, right? So you get that. What we do is we get the investor to loan us all the acquisition money and all the construction money up front. The reason that they're willing to do that is because we have an in-house construction team. We're licensed contractors. We've done a ton of fix and flips. If you haven't done that, that's okay. Get a contractor that's going to be your GC or your list of subs. Get their track record, present that to your private investor, and most importantly, as I said before, make sure it's the right deal that's got plenty of room for your private lender to be protected. So that's how we do fix and flips with no money down. That's number 1. Number 2, we buy small rentals for our portfolio. Those could be single-family homes, small duplexes, triplexes, even 4 families in mixed-use buildings in the neighborhood of maybe a couple $100,000 per property, but mostly well less than that in the areas that we invest in. And what we do is we get a private lender to come in again, self-directed IRA, cash buyer, person with cash, and they lend us a chunk of change to buy the property and to rehab it. And then what we do is we'll buy it, rehab it, get a tenant in, and then we set it on the side, cash flow with the tenant, and then we do that over and over again and develop a portfolio of properties somewhere in the neighborhood of, say, 4 to 10 units. And we go to a bank and we refinance all those properties all at once through a portfolio loan. Now, because I do this full time, and again, we have our own crew, I'll be working 2 or 3 houses at a time, and so I can turn over those portfolios from the beginning of buying the very first property to the complete refinance in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 months. It takes a while to sharpen up your process to get it to happen that quickly, but even a year is a good target. So again, what you want to do is get your private money in, all your construction loaned to you through private money, and then you get a bank to refinance out. And obviously you want to examine the value of the entire portfolio, make sure the bank's going to be willing to give you a loan to value that is at what the private, enough to take all those private money lenders out. So we've yet to go into our own pocket to fund a deal like that, to meet the bank's loan to get out our private lenders. We've always had to loan from the bank at least provide the private lenders with their buyout and interest, and typically that's all we take. There's sometimes an option for us to take some cash out, but I'd rather keep the loan right out with enough to take the private lenders out and keep the debt service a little lower if I can. Again, it's got to be the right deal, and you got to look at what the properties are going to value when you complete. But banks will give you between 70 to 75% loan to value, and the reason why we portfolio them into a big loan is because, to be honest, banks like to work on big loans. They don't want to loan you $50,000 or $75,000 for a rental. They want to loan you $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 or more, because it takes the same amount of work to do a $75,000 loan as it does to do a $600,000 loan. So you will find that banks will gladly work on a large portfolio for a refinance. You got to have good credit, you got to have a proven track record, and you got to have some source of showing income. If you don't have those things, then you want to bring in someone in the refinance to come in as what's called a sponsor, which means they step in and put their credit on the line, are willing to come on as a borrower as well and go on the loan. You may have to give them a few percentage points in equity to do that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But that's how we do the second round of adding to our portfolio. That's how we did a lot of the 80 units, was by doing those portfolio refinances. The third way to do it, and I've written on this and I've done one other blog post or video blog on this one, but this is buying larger apartment buildings. The largest deal we did was an 18 unit, but we've also done a 10 unit, a 5 unit, and I've assembled 20 units on the same block doing this method, which is enrolling equity investors to come in. These are people that are willing to give you money long term, not as a loan. They're willing to come in as a partner with you. Some people call it a venture, joint venture. Limited partnerships is what we use to structure a group of investors that come together with us, and we buy a mid-sized multifamily building with them, and they hold it long term. They hold it for around 5 years, give or take, and it's a great way to add big chunks to your portfolio. We've done that several times. It's been very successful. We're very happy with it. We'll be doing a lot more of that too. But again, that's another no money out of your own pocket type of investing, no money out of our pocket. Now, what we provide to the investor, obviously, is the day-to-day operations of the deal, the assemblage of the deal, and if we have to, we personally guarantee the mortgage from the bank on that apartment complex as well. So all these things that I've described are win-win situations for our investors. The private lenders on the fix and flips or on the portfolio loans are making a great return on their money that they wouldn't make elsewhere. They definitely wouldn't be making it if it was just cash sitting in a bank account or sitting in a CD or something like that. And if it's a self-directed IRA, it's well guaranteed. It's guaranteed money. You really shouldn't be using the word guarantee with your investors, but it's secured loan. Whereas the investment they may be able to make in the stock market through their IRA is not guaranteed, definitely, and it's definitely not secured. So there's a way better chance of them getting their money plus interest with you, with collateral, the property involved, than they are investing on the stock market. So again, they win, you win. It's a win-win situation. So that's how we've vastly grown our portfolio. We'll be doing a lot more deals like that, and we hope to add another 80 in the next year or two to our portfolio and keep picking up the pace. So I hope this was inspirational for you guys. If you have any questions or if you want to get into some chatter about it, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to get into some conversation with you guys about these types of deals, because it's something I'm very excited about and it's done really well by me. So I hope this is beneficial. Please have a great week and happy investing to you. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.